Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, we're heading to the Granite State to visit an over 10,000 square foot treasure trove of salvaged antiques and vintage building materials, reclaimed and repurposed by John Isger, owner of Northeast Architectural Antiques. John, we're here at your architectural salvage company. First of all, what does that mean?
Basically what we do is if they're gonna demolish a house or a barn or the interior of a brownstone in Boston, our company will go in and remove the pieces, such as butler's pantries, stained glass windows, plumbing fixtures, mantles, and things along those lines. So we'll go in and take them out, bring them back to the showroom, clean them up, photograph them, and put them on our website and on Instagram as well.
I'm seeing all kinds of things here. What kind of criteria does it take for something to come here?
Basically, it has to be cool. And anything pre-1940, something unique. Just not something run-of-the-mill, something you can't get anyplace else. And a lot of the things that we sell are one of a kind, so they're a ton of unique pieces.
Walk me through the space here because we're talking about a lot of square footage, which makes sense because there are some big items here.
Well, we built this building specifically for what we do. This building is 12,000 square feet. We have 6 acres of property. We have another 6,000 square foot building out back. We have a wood shop back there where we can create these items. We have a sawmill where we can cut beams and boards and flooring. So there's always something different every single day.
What is that feeling like of seeing the beauty or the value in these objects that might have been discarded or forgotten about?
We're here to preserve these things. It serves a function, and the function is to save all this stuff before it winds up in the dumpster.
Tell me about that history you're saving. How far back do some of these objects date?
We have tiles that date back to the 1680s. We have a lot of antique beams and boarding that would go back to the 1700s, so anywhere from the 1600s up to 1940, we're there.
When you're dealing with these objects that are sometimes hundreds of years old, how are they now getting new life? Where are they going?
We do a lot in new construction. We do a lot of restaurants, bars, that kind of thing. So it's all about the integration of these products into new construction to serve a new purpose. If you're going into a new home, you'll see antique beams that we have cleaned and cut that would go in the ceiling of a new project. Antique flooring that will plane, straight edge, and put down. It really adds a lot of charm, and it's just a fantastic look for a new property or a renovation or a restoration, so we can give these items a second life.
Walking around here, you kind of get the feeling that each object has its own unique story to it.
Every piece has its story in this place. We've removed these items, we've curated these items, so we can walk around and I can tell you where these all came from. And everything has a really cool story. So they can take that item, integrate it into their new project, and have a great story to tell someone.
And it gives you a new appreciation for something that you may be using.
Yes, absolutely. We're giving things a second life here. It's an amazing, amazing fit.
It sounds like some of the things here have lived many lives, actually.
We have actually salvaged our own salvage. We've gone on a job and saw something that we sold 15, 20 years ago, and now they're remodeling again. And these items are coming out, and then they're back for sale here.
There's probably hundreds of thousands of objects in here. So where do we possibly start?
Oh, I think the best thing to do is we just walk around and I can show you and tell you all the stories of every piece we have in the place.
Now we're in the area of the showroom with all these amazing pieces of wood. What's the story behind these beams?
These are 18th century hand-hewn beams, and this is our mantle display. What's become really popular over the past 5 years or so is the integration of antique beams into a new construction project. So these would be in collar ties up on the ceiling, or they use it around a doorway. And it's a really nice look. Everything's gone ultra white these days. So these are a nice change and kind of break up the space.
Do you notice a difference in the craftsmanship of these older pieces of wood sometimes?
Well, the older wood, it's first generation material. So every piece of wood you get now, it's been grown and chopped and grown and chopped. This is all first generation stuff, makes it harder and denser. All of New England was forest, and it was all chopped down and then regrown. So we have the opportunity to salvage the first generation material, turn it into beams, turn it into flooring, or anything else.
Making our way through the showroom, you seem pretty excited when we landed on these two large doors here. What's the story behind them?
This is a large pair of walnut carved doors with inlay, beautiful pediments with brackets. You just don't see things like this these days. To recreate something like that, the cost would be just too much. You couldn't recreate this today, but these are from a grand music room in downtown Boston. It's such a beautiful piece, and we can take some of those components and turn them into something. Like this bar is from that same project. So the panels were wainscoting, the top was antique flooring. Took these pieces to the shop and turned it into a great functional bar.
You talk about all the time that went into something like this, and what's pretty wild to me is that if you had not come along, this would not be here anymore.
If we didn't remove these items, they would be in the dumpster. We literally were there after the first demo crew came in, and we were pulling things out of the demolition pile. Carved brackets, wainscoting, things that were beautiful pieces, and they just got discarded and thrown away. So we were fortunate enough to move all that rubble and find the gold.
And I have to say, with such an assortment of objects, it's surprisingly organized in here, and there seems to be such a nice flow just walking around.
Well, you want it to feel good. You want a sense of what it's going to look like when I take this home. You know, not just a pile of mantles thrown in a corner, not just a barn with stuff shoved in it. It's definitely a curated collection, and we like to set it up in an organized manner so people can visualize it. And it's warm, and it's a cozy place to be, and it's a cozy place to wander.